Hey there, grade fours. Ready to crush that history exam? I'm so excited you're here. We're going to have some fun with a quiz all about land transport to get you totally prepared. So let's jump right in.
All right, here's how we're going to do this. Our quiz is in 3 simple parts. First up, transport with animals. Then we'll talk about the wheel and wagons, and we'll finish up with the first bicycles. Sounds good? Let's get to it. Okay, let's kick things off with part 1, transport with animals. Here's your very first question. How did transport change people's lives on land? Go ahead and hit pause, have a good think, and I'll be right here when you get back. And the answer is, it made traveling and moving goods way faster, easier, and a whole lot safer. Awesome job. Okay, question 2 is ready for you. Can you name the animal that's called the ship of the desert? Because it can go for so long without water. You know what to do. Hit pause and think. You got it. It's the camel. These guys are incredible desert survivors. Now, speaking of camels, I've got a super interesting genius fact question for you. What's the secret inside a camel's hump? This is a really cool one. Pause the video and see if you can remember. Did you guess it? Camels actually store fat, not water, in their humps. It's like a giant energy bar for their long trips. How cool is that? All right, moving on to question 4. Can you name 3, just 3, animals that people use to carry heavy stuff or pull wagons? Go on, pause and make your list.
Okay, let's see what we've got. You could have said elephants, donkeys, horses, or oxen. If you got any 3 of those, give yourself a big pat on the back. You've totally aced the first section. Great job.
You guys are on fire. Now let's roll right into part 2, the wheel and wagons. First question for this section, question 5 is, how many years ago did people first figure out how to roll heavy loads over the ground? Take a second to think about that and hit pause. Wow, the answer is 5,500 years ago. Can you even imagine how long ago that was? It's incredible. Now, speaking of rolling heavy things, question 6 is about a famous ancient place. In which country did people use tree logs as rollers to move the massive bricks for the pyramids? Go ahead and pause while you picture that.
That's right, it was Egypt. The Egyptians were super clever. Okay, so from rollers to the real deal, the wheel. Question 7 has 2 parts, so listen closely. Where was the very first wheel made, way back around 4000 BC, and what was its first job? What was it used for? Go on, pause and think about both answers.
Okay, did you get them? The wheel was invented in Mesopotamia. And get this, it wasn't for a cart. It was first used for making pottery. Isn't that wild? All right, question 8. What's the difference in the number of wheels between a carriage and a wagon? Pause and think it through. All right, let's break it down. A carriage usually had 2 wheels, and a wagon had 4 wheels because it was built to be heavier. Simple as that. Okay, last question for this part. Question 9. What exactly is a stagecoach and how many people could ride in one? Hit pause for the last time in part 2. So, a stagecoach was this huge coach pulled by a whole team of 4 to 6 horses, and it could fit 8 passengers inside. Kind of like an old-timey bus, right? And with that, you have finished part 2. You're doing an amazing job. And here we are, the final round. Welcome to part 3, the first bicycles. You're so close to the finish line. Let's do this. Question 10. What was the name of that very early bicycle from 1817 that had no pedals at all? Go on, pause and lock in your answer. Yep, it was called the running machine. Seriously, can you imagine? You had to push it along with your feet. Okay, time for a tricky one. Question 11. Which bike from the 1870s was super dangerous because it had a giant front wheel and a teensy tiny back wheel? It has a really funny name. Pause and see if you can remember it. It was the penny farthing. It got its name from 2 old British coins, a big penny and a small farthing. They were super wobbly and dangerous. So that leads us right to question 12. What 2 things made the safety bicycle from the 1880s so much safer? Pause the video and think about those 2 big changes. Okay, the 2 brilliant ideas were, first, it had 2 wheels of the exact same size, which made it way easier to balance, and second, it used pedals connected to a chain, which is pretty much how our bikes work today. All right, everyone, deep breath. Here it is, the very last question. Question 13. Can you name 2 good things, 2 advantages of modern bicycles? Hit pause one last time and think of all the reasons bikes are awesome. And there are so many good answers. They're great for the environment, they keep you healthy with good exercise, they're cheap, and probably the best reason, they're just plain fun. And that's it. You did it. You made it all the way through the quiz. Amazing. Seriously, congratulations on working so hard. We've covered animal transport, the amazing invention of the wheel, and all those crazy early bicycles. You are so ready for this exam. But before you go, I have one last thing for you to think about. How do you think people will travel in the future? Flying cars, teleporters? Who knows? Let your imagination go wild. You're going to do great on your exam. Good luck.